Good morning, everybody. So today we have the big box of Rose Tarot, and then we also have the Wisdom of the Oracle. So let's start with the Rose Tarot. How are you all doing? I was going to say Wisdom of the Day, which kind of works, right? Message of the Day, Wisdom of the Day. What does universe want to tell us today? The first message that I'm getting is for some of you, probably all of us, to find our calm center before we do anything else today. Find the calm center. And they're giving me this image of like kind of eye of the storm kind of thing. Like say if there's a storm going on around you or some kind of chaotic activity going on around you, to find your center before you look out there. That way you see everything with a neutrality, that way you see everything with the higher wisdom, the inner wisdom. All right. What do you want to say, universe? What else do you want to say? Ten of Swords. Okay. Four of Batons. Okay, so Four of Batons is also Four of Wands. Ten of Swords. Look at that. Is that in focus? Okay, there you go. Ten of Swords. That's the ending of something. That's so interesting too. There's this kind of like devil goat person with an instrument. Kind of reminds me of that Judgment card where there's Angel Gabriel blowing the horn to wake everybody up, and that card is more about a rebirth. So it's interesting why this devil goat person is blowing a horn. Could it be talking about a rebirth also of some sort? The Ten of Swords talks about endings, right? So right after an ending comes a beginning. So maybe it's talking about that cycle. What's interesting is that the Four of Wands, Four of Batons, talks about security, talks about love, talks about celebration. Let's see what the Wisdom of the Oracle says. Shed some light on what this message is about. So it's interesting that you have this card of like ending of the cycle right next to a card of celebration. Because a lot of times if you look at the Four of Wands, it talks about, say, like a wedding ceremony, right? It talks about the stability of a foundation. It talks about, some people read it as the 1111 card, which talks about, it's like a 11 is a master number. So it's like mastery. Interesting. Okay. Message of the day. Flexible. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what it's talking about. Give me 1 second. I want to find out what this like goat person thing is talking about. The Ten of Swords. I'm going to look in the book really quick. But I do know what message. Okay. So, there we go. Ruination, grief, desolation, laying waste, affliction, dolor? I'm not sure what that is. Lamentation. Okay. So I only want to find out why that guy is blowing a horn. The satyr depicted in the image, I'm reading down here right now. The satyr depicted in the image is one of the serum, the hairy ones of Kabbalistic tradition, goat demons who haunt the lonely wastes and are analogous to the jinn of Islamic lore. Oh my goodness. All right. So you can pause and continue to read. But this book, when I read it, it's like, it's so complex. I don't understand many of the words that are in here. But anyway, so what I was getting out of this, like the entire spread, has to do with not letting things that bring you to this energy where it's like about desolation and not being able to get up from your struggles, not being able to just kind of like things, energies that dampen your spirit. That's what I was getting from the entire message. And if you have a foundation of the Four of Batons, the Four of Wands within you, where you feel good about yourself, you're like celebratory of yourself, and you know who you are, you know, like when I think of, say the Four of Wands, the Three of Wands comes right before the Four of Wands, right? So Three of Wands talks about looking into the future and being able to project where you're gonna go, right? And Four of Wands kind of has that in progression to that definition. Then comes like, now you have reached some kind of level where, you know, Three of Wands looking forward to it, and then the Four of Wands, like, you're there, you got the foundation, you have the security of it. It's really talking about being secure enough within yourself so that when this energy is thrown at you for any reason, whereas people are trying to dampen you, people are trying to dim your light, people are trying to make you feel bad in any way and say, no, it's not going to work. So any kind of spark, you know, Wands talks about fire, right? Any kind of fire or passion or thing that you have that, and it's interesting in this particular Four of Wands, this guy's like working on something. He's chiseling something out. Anything that you're focusing on where you're on fire about it and you feel some kind of security about it, like be secure enough in what you're working on, in what you're on fire about, in what your own life is about, that any of this energy, if somebody's trying to dampen your spirit, trying to end, you know, it talks about ending, end or put out your fire, be secure. Be secure in who you are and what you know and celebrate yourself, right? There's like even the sun on top of his head. Be secure in knowing who you are and where your life is going. Celebrate yourself. And don't let this energy dampen you. And the reason why this brought light to the message is because flexibility. You know, okay, so when you're building buildings, if you're living in earthquake territory, they have to build the building in some way where the building is flexible and not rigid, so that the building doesn't fall apart. So for example, even if it's not like earthquake territory, but like say if it's like places with high winds and you're building a tall building, I've seen places, I forget which country it was, but they actually build the building with a hole in the middle of the building so that any winds that go through, the wind will just go through the hole. Like you're giving it a place to go so that whatever wind comes through, that the building can still stay strong, still stay standing, because it's flexible to the environment, flexible to the to anything that might come at it, because there's a place for that other energy to go through it and it doesn't hit it directly so that it knocks it down. Okay, so if you have a security, a firm foundation that is flexible to the environment. Because, oh, the first message that came through about being eye of the storm. So it's not about not having any storms. There's gonna be storms, right? Like in whatever environment that you live in, there's gonna be other energies around that will be disagreeing with whatever you're trying to build in your own life, whatever you're trying to create in your own life. And if you're flexible, then whatever blows, blows, but you're still standing. You know what I mean? The egg is shaped like an egg because, or it's shaped like that as an oval, because it's like one of the strongest shapes. So that, as fragile as an egg is, that the shape that is in makes it like one of the strongest foundations. So yeah, I feel like this is what it's talking about. It's talking about your foundational truth about who you really are, being able to withstand any kind of gloom and doom that might be in the energy, either from other people, from things that are happening on around you, any kind of chaos that's around you, any kind of energy that kind of wants to put out other people's light, right? That says no, that won't happen, energies of despair or anything like that, where it's like the opposite of hope, right? But if you have a strong foundation and a knowing, and you celebrate yourself, and you're flexible to the things that might be thrown at you, you're going to stay standing strong. That's the message that I'm getting from this. And that is so perfect. That is so perfect. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to check out the Four of Batons in the book, because like the Rose Tarot, it has its own meanings sometimes that's different from like what you would learn from the more traditional decks. So I'm just curious to see what the Four of Batons say. Okay. Pleasure in the completion of a matter, a work project perfected, closure and harvest, satisfaction, conquered, a job well done. Yeah. So if you know whatever you're working on that you're doing a good job, it doesn't matter if other people don't see it that way, or they try to put any kind of energy that says no, it won't work or whatever. You have to know it within yourself and be able to weather the storm, to be flexible about whatever tries to come at you. The Four of Batons exemplifies the perfected labors of the craftsman shown here, adding the final touches, completing the cornerstone with mallet and chisel in hand. He wears the traditional apron and wears a red rose in his hat band. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, there's the rose in his hat. With a scroll beside his foot. I love that this book has like colored illustrations. Like it's exactly what the card looks like. I love that. So you can just look right at it. A scroll at his foot. Behind him, the spires, roofs, and towers of a castellated town are visible. Upon the finished cornerstone, he has carved the heart and quat de chiffre. I know quatre means four, right? So you got the heart four on the stone. I don't know what the rest means. It's French. Sign of a masterwork. It is the fourfold glyph. I guess that's what it means. Of the initiated master or magister in medieval craft guilds and corporations. So you're a master. The sun glows over him, Apollo as grand geometer, under the arms of the golden compasses. Below him, the golden square represents heaven, the circle. Where's that? The sun glows over him under the arms of the golden compasses. Below him, the golden square. Oh, okay, there's the square. It's this thing right here. Represents heaven, the circle, and earth, the square. above and below conjoined in the great opus of perfection. Yeah. So know that you're a master, and know that your work is perfection, and you are perfection, and you are the combination of heaven and earth. And it's like when you know all of that, like nothing that can come from at you from like, the lower energies, the lower vibes, the more earthly human kind of energies, nothing that can be thrown at you will throw you off course because you're flexible. But then that also means then your environment doesn't have to be in perfection in order for you to enjoy your life, because you are so strong that it doesn't matter. You can go anywhere and you're strong, right? Awesome. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.